What's up, guys? Today's trade was a long setup on MES during Asia, and here's the breakdown. So again, just like the last videos, we have a three-step process. This three-step process helps us establish the short-term trend, and then we base our bets on the short-term trend with an entry model, right? So this increases our odds that the price will move in our favor, and over time with an edge like this, you can actually do very well. So before we get into the breakdown, as you can see, this trade ended up being a loss. However, our system, the way we traded, it did recognize the trend. Unfortunately, just 2 ticks would have done us good on this trade, but it was an A plus stop loss for me. It was an A plus entry, A plus price action. Everything was great, but in trading, you know how it is. You're not going to win them all, and even A plus setups fail. The important thing is that you have an edge, and this is what we're going to show you here. So as always, we have step 1. We need a liquidity grab or an overnight level grab. During New York, we look for the overnight levels. During Asia, we'll look at some levels from New York. So if we go to the 5, you'll see right here we have equal lows with ES, right? And price during Asia Open came and swept those lows. Now, before the sweep, we created a bearish imbalance. And right here on this 5-minute candle, if you look at how displacive it is, that's extra confirmation that this inversion is very valid. For example, a lot of times we'll get an inversion and then an invalidation of that inversion, right? But usually when you see an inversion that is this displacive and strong, it gives me further confirmation that there's a high probability that price will continue to expand in the direction of that inversion. So for today's example, if you see the market structure, which I always like to look at, we had our inversion, okay? That's not really a bullish signal for me just yet. It was displacive, so I assumed, you know what, I think this is going to be a short-term bullish trend. We had our pullback, and then this was the confirmation, expansion right there. So why? Because this was one setup that had you placed your bets on it, it would have played out. We don't trade the first one, but we use it as information. And then after that, we created another fair value gap right here. You can see on the 1 minute, we had a pullback, a small pullback into it, and then again, further expansion. So we respected 2 bullish setups after liquidity grab. So let's review the steps. Liquidity grab, done. Established trend. If you look at this market structure, you can see the short-term trend is bullish. So step 2 is done. And then 3, simply our entry model. For us, we had a couple gaps here to work with. Let me actually reference. So we had 2, right? Let me just zoom in. First one though, it got inversed, and then we didn't get an invalidation of the inversion. Had we got the invalidation, we would have gone long up here. So we're looking at the second gap now. We got that inversion right here at 1901 or 701, and then at 702, an invalidation of that inversion. So I marked it in there. That was our confirmation for entry. You'll see 2 orders because I accidentally put only half of the position on, so I had to rebuy. But yeah, stop loss was this swing low. It's usually at a swing low or outside of a gap that's nearby. In today's example, we did everything correctly. So we were outside the gap, followed the rule, and we used the swing low, followed the rule. Again, it just happens to be that 2 ticks would have done us good, but it's all good. It just kind of happens in trading. The important thing is that this system that I'm showing you almost on a daily basis always seems to catch the trend. And once you have your trend established, all you really need is an entry model, and it raises your chances of price moving in your favor because you're joining the majority of the traders. So I hope that makes sense. Again, let's just run through it real quick. We have our LQ grab, our established trend, and then our entry model. If you go back to the past videos, you'll see it's the same process every single day. And yeah, not gonna lie, guys, this one kind of stung when we hit TP level, but it's all good. You guys have a good one.